What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're going to be reacting to Hatton Garden. At least I think that's how that's pronounced. But anyways, how Britain's biggest heist unfolded. Came across this video, guys, and this is a topic that I really enjoy looking into. Sort of the underworld, crime, bank heist, that type of thing. It's just very interesting to me.
Is this from like a long time ago?
I think this was probably about a decade or so ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's it? I was thinking like early 1900s. Oh.
I don't think, no, it's not early. This is like modern. This is modern times. It's just not like in the last few years. It's like over the last, I don't know the exact year, but look at the bank vault, for example. It's definitely not a, you know, an old bank vault comparatively to modern times. But don't know anything about this except that the thumbnail looked really interesting. It basically had some holes in the wall. And so I'm thinking that maybe these guys somehow tunneled into this vault or something. I have no idea, but sounds interesting, guys. Don't know what to expect. So let's just go ahead and jump in here and check out Hatton Garden, how Britain's biggest heist unfolded.
It would have been the country's biggest ever heist, but for the need for more tools, they might have got away with it.
That's the hole I was talking about.
They didn't pull it off.
Oh, they didn't?
It didn't sound like it.
Look at that. Hold on, I want to look at, hold on one second, guys. I want to look at this from the
ever heist.
That is a tiny hole.
Is that how they got in there? It looked even bigger on the other side, right? But that looks tiny. If I'm seeing that, there's no way I'm going to try to climb through that.
You gotta have a scrawny little guy or girl.
You would think, man. Now, I don't know. Let's continue.
But for the need for more tools, they might have got away with it.
Look at that. Look at the job they did with cutting that out.
That is crazy. How long would that have taken?
What did they use to cut this out is my question.
They're gonna tell us.
Yeah, they are. I just got so many questions running through my mind, and I'm like, I'm looking at this side of it.
This side, it looks a lot bigger.
It does. It must have gone inward or something, because it does look a lot smaller on the other side. Of course, we were farther away from it.
Yeah.
But even this, though, is like, they climbed through this. And where are they coming from? What is on this side of the vault? Like, are you in a restaurant or something that connected to a bank or something?
It's like some kind of hallway.
I have no idea.
Only a third of the jewellery, rings, gold, diamonds, other precious stones and cash has been recovered.
So they
and
did.
An unnamed ginger-haired man, known as Basil, got away. But not these seven. Not William.
Dude, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
I was not thinking they were like older.
Yeah, me either. I would have thought they were young.
Dude, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, these are like 20s or something.
Which one of them fit through there?
That's true. Who did?
Maybe the guy on the bottom left. He's pretty narrow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You would not expect it to be these.
No, I'm not. These guys aren't obviously like elderly. They're not like, you know, 100 years old or something. But I mean, this guy's got to be in his 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, all these guys got to be. This guy may be in his 40s or something.
It's a very strange situation.
But yeah, that is
usually
so
it's like
different.
Younger people who are.
Yeah.
At least it seems like it.
Okay, so they're obviously trying to get millions of pounds in inventory. He said jewelry, so this wasn't a bank then.
I think it's like deposit boxes, isn't it?
So
like safety deposit boxes.
Oh yeah, you're right. So it probably isn't a bank and safety deposit boxes. Or wait, Hatton Garden. I don't know. Let's just find out.
Not these seven. Not William Lincoln, known as Billy the Fish, nor Carl Wood, or plumber Hugh Doyle, who were all found guilty today, and not the masterminds behind this last job, Brian Reeder, John Collins, Daniel Jones and Terry Perkins, who all confessed. Total years, 441. Average age, 63.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Thieves that undertook this crime. Some of those individuals were career criminals where violence was actually used. Violence wasn't used in this case. But we've got to be careful that we don't actually glamorise this. There are victims behind this.
It was 3 years in the making.
Safe deposit.
A raid on this safety deposit vault, whose security system was well past its sell-by date.
Okay, so this doesn't seem to be a bank. This is an actual company that has safe deposit vaults.
A jewelry place, but also does safe deposit.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
I haven't heard of that either.
Like the only place I've never known you have safety deposit boxes are banks. I didn't know that actually.
Here in the U.S.
They might have.
I know of.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but they might have companies. But this is the first I've ever seen like some sort of company that does safety deposit boxes.
Did you hear? He said that their security, I don't know if it was the software or whatever, was like needing updated, and it was just like a few months past. So I wonder if somebody had insider information. And
an average age of 63.
That's crazy.
That is so different than what I thought originally when I started this video.
The way in was through the fire escape round the corner next to number 38. From the moment a white van pulled up in Greville Street late on the night of Thursday the 2nd of April last year, there was no going back. This was the culmination of meticulous planning.
Wow.
That evening, Basil was first in through the main door to the building. He had keys. How is not known. At just after 9:20, he's in the courtyard and opens from the inside the fire exit door into Greville Street. From a parked van, the gang unload bags, tools and wheelie bins, take them through the fire exit and down the stairs.
Nobody saw this?
Inside the building, the lift is disabled on the 2nd floor, and from the ground floor, some abseil down the lift shaft to the basement, and then break into the area between the iron gates which guard the passage to the vault. The CCTV is disabled, the phone cable from the alarm box is cut. Game on. Through the night, the men cut and drilled their way into the vault.
Wouldn't that be super loud?
Does the failure to respond to the alarm that night?
Wow.
Does that mean that the Met?
Well, maybe there is no. Maybe it's not a residential area, so it's middle of the night.
Either
people were there.
The walls looked thin.
Yeah.
For between.
You got to wonder what they were drilling with.
Had to be something high powered.
And so there was an actual vault door right beside him. So that's interesting. So, okay, let's continue.
Accepts responsibility or some responsibility for what happened?
We've apologised for not turning up on that night. It's clear that police should have actually attended. We have reviewed the processes and systems that are in place to prevent this from happening.
Well, if they cut it, it would have gone off, wouldn't it?
That night, the gang hit a snag. When they peered through the hole, blocking the vision of hundreds of safe deposit boxes, was the back of a large steel cabinet, bolted to the floor and the ceiling.
Oh.
Their hydraulic pump wasn't powerful enough to force it. They abandoned the vault, but not the plan. So near, yet so far. They got another on the Saturday that did the job. And several weeks later, 3 were secretly filmed in a North London pub, reliving that breakthrough. By then, the fly...
Wait a second. Did I hear him right?
Yeah, they came back.
They came back like a different night?
That's what it sounds like a week later. And then I noticed their original hole.
Oh my gosh. I would be furious if that was like a place I had secured my belongings.
Yeah, that number one. But number two, just if you're going to do something like that, you never talk about it in public.
Well,
you're being filmed, reliving your adventure here, and that ultimately was one of the things that probably led to your demise.
Yeah,
man. All right.
Flying squad had connected the dots. The key was this white Mercedes, which was seen on CCTV driving around Hatton Garden the weekend of the heist. It was traced to John Collins, and from then the network fell into place.
Wow.
Brian Reader was the governor. At 76, he's the veteran villain. His lifetime of crime included the £26 million Brinks-Mat armed robbery in 1983, where he was jailed for handling the proceeds from the gold bullion heist.
Oh my goodness.
32 years on, he was back.
Hatton Garden. A light here for Farringdon Station.
You wouldn't think that the brains behind this daring heist would have caught a bus to the vaults. But that's exactly what Brian Reader did.
What?
Are you kidding me?
In Dartford, and then onto this one.
It's like he wanted to be caught or something.
Which dropped him off with a 5-minute walk to Hatton Garden. And to cover his tracks, he used someone else's Oyster travel pass.
I mean,
but it was not to be his last hurrah, and he walked away when the gang hit the snag. £14 million worth of valuables was stolen from 44 boxes, most of them owned by diamond traders and jewellers. £9 million has still not been recovered.
What I think it certainly cost me a lot of my pension, and I think the first few months it gave me a hard time. Definitely.
I watched a grown man cry. And I'm in real heartfelt tears.
Whoa. What
Are those rubies?
Oh, they might be. That's beautiful. Wow.
My question is, though, like, they're stealing jewelry and diamonds and things that are recognizable.
Yeah, true.
That's going to be hard to turn over. Like,
I'm wondering how connected these guys were with like some sort of like
black market or something.
Mafia or something like that. Because if that's the case of the black market, you know, I mean, this stuff ends up out of Britain and in some other country somewhere. True. You know, who knows? But yeah, you're right.
That would really be the only way, because if you try to take it to like a pawn shop or somewhere local,
I mean, technically you could melt down the metals, the gold, and then you could separate the jewels. Mm-hmm. So maybe that was the plan, I guess. I don't know.
Of what am I going to do? He was thinking that he was going to be. He's lost an awful lot. He's lost an awful lot, and his tears were about the fact that that was what he was hoping that he could pass on to his children and his grandchildren.
And what of the mysterious Basil, the only member of the gang to get away? Several cameras caught him over that weekend, walking past with his face concealed by a black bag on his shoulder.
I just want to mention that that's pretty impressive. That this guy, they call him Basil. Basil is with the other guys, obviously.
Wouldn't he have been named?
But that's my point. That's why it's impressive. You have 7 other guys that most likely know this guy, and none of them ratted on him.
Or maybe they did, and that's how they know the.
Or of course, maybe at this point, since it's happened, maybe he has been caught over time.
True.
But as of this video, he hadn't been, I guess. But that's pretty impressive. You don't see that, because I'm sure they might have been offered some sort of plea deal to a little bit to reduce their time. Although 400 some years, I think is what it was with that
total.
Yeah. So, but 7 people, 400 some years. I mean, they're spending the rest of their life. All of them seem to be spending the rest of their lives in jail, I guess.
How did he get in?
As we understand at the moment, a key was used to gain entry into the premises.
So he just used a key to open the front door, and then in he was?
That's as far as we know from evidence given at court. Yes.
And you have no idea who he is?
We do not know. We haven't yet been able to identify him. The flying squad will continue this investigation.
How do you get a key?
A £20,000 reward is still on offer to help identify and capture the one outstanding suspect in the country's largest ever heist.
Wow. Guys, this was interesting.
Very. I'm wondering, though, for the people who lost so much in this, who's held responsible for, like, it would be insured, right?
You would think there would be insurance.
Would they be monetarily compensated?
But it sounded like they weren't. Because think about it, some people were just like heartbroken because they lost so much.
That's messed up.
Yeah, like you would think that would, there would be some sort of insurance on the company itself.
Owner, like the ones who were promising the security to the customer.
Right. So there has to be something more to that.
There was a lot of oversight, like there. It's just
this could have been. I mean, this was impressive. You had average ages of 63 years old, drilling their way through concrete
multiple days,
multiple days, and almost got away with it. And they actually,
the security supposedly went off, the alarm, and the cops never came.
Technically, they say they didn't get away with it. Well, they technically did, because like a lot of that never came back. So they got away with something, even though they're in prison, I guess. So they're not, they're not able to use those funds that they would have otherwise.
Well, that guy got him.
But yeah, that guy right there, man. What, Basil? Basil is very infamous now.
Basil.
This is, I think the better way to title this is Britain's most infamous heist, because this seems to me to be a very infamous heist.
Yeah.
I've seen a number of different heists. This one, because of the age of the perpetrators, and you know the way they did this by drilling through core drilling, basically what they did. Yeah. They core drilled through large cores, mind you, but they core drilled through this, it sounds like, because I didn't see any like rubble, and it was smooth. It wasn't like they were chiseling away with it, some sort of like a what you call it machine. They actually were using some sort of bigger core drill to actually do this. And I mean, that's no joke doing that work, right? Like, so wow, fascinating, guys.
It really is.
Like I said, guys, I love this topic. It's not something I've really looked at too much in the UK. We've looked at some of your biggest murderers, I think it was, and you know, a few
like
they hear there.
True crime stuff.
True crime stuff. I love this type of stuff. I love learning about this stuff. It's just very, very interesting to me.
We don't love that it happened.
No, of course not. I don't love that it happened.
We enjoy learning about.
Yeah, if something happened,
things come about.
Learn about it after the fact. So, guys, let us know in the comments if there are some really interesting criminal whatever that we should check out, whether they're heists or, you know, who knows, whatever it is. We enjoy learning about this type of thing. This is something that we used to do all the time. We used to sit down and, you know, watch the...
Like as entertainment.
Yeah, the true crime stuff. I think a lot of people do that, though. I think a lot of people enjoy the true crime stuff. Not for what happened, but for
the human psychology aspect of it.
That's what it's always been to me. I love learning about what's going on in people's head, trying to figure out what makes someone tick, what makes someone actually choose to do this.
Yeah.
And I must say, this is very fascinating because of the ages of the people and how they did this. That's just really interesting to me. Don't think I've ever seen something exactly like this before.
Did you catch how they were actually caught? Like, was it the second time they came back and they were...
I didn't catch that.
Spotted, or what happened there?
Well, they showed after the fact, they're out there talking and whatever. I guess they just
they glazed over that part.
Yeah, they did glaze over that a little bit. But I know the one guy, the oldest guy, he was like the ringleader, it sounded like. He ended up coming on the bus. And then obviously he used a different pass, which was a good idea for him.
Still on camera.
But then he had to walk 5 minutes, and it was in the middle of the day. Just you know, that wasn't very smart, really. You know, you would have thought they would have learned the lesson after the first time coming in. Okay, this is not going to work. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, guys, this was interesting. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover anything and everything from the UK and Ireland. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.